Hi everyone, welcome in the Friday Fox Show, season 3, episode 6 with tonight Astra. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for accepting to be interviewed by me. I don't know, you interview a lot of people. Is it the first time you get interviewed? Probably not.
It's not the first time I've been interviewed, but it doesn't happen super often. I will say, though, this is actually the first time I've ever been interviewed in VR before. Most times people want me to throw my fursuit on, and it gets really annoying because it's hard to see the stream through your webcam, and then the microphone is ass in my office.
Yeah.
So I'm very happy to be sitting in my comfy room with my headset on and be a kiddie mode without actually, oh, there's my headset all. Kiddie mode without actually, having my fursuit on.
As a matter of fact, this was something I was talking about. I was like, this is the first time I think. Usually, I have as guests, streamers and stuff like that, and those people most likely they are in VR all the time, and you are more like a fursuiter. I mean, you do play VR, and I don't know how often, but you're known for being a fursuiter. So this is like a big change as well. I think it's the first time here in this season, at least, that we have someone like you. So thank you so much for accepting to be here.
Oh, of course, thanks for having me. No, yeah, this is actually might be the first time people have actually seen my avatar, because I am in VR a fair bit, but cute. I stick to close friend groups. I don't make content in VR, and I don't really talk about it because I'm just, I don't know, I prefer real life compared to VR stuff. But hey, hello, meow. Yeah, it's me. Yeah. Hi.
With the technologies as well, full body tracking and stuff like that, it's also very like that. It's very it gets very you can see a lot of stuff. Just like when you're in fursuit, you can move, you can show your emotions, and I think in VR it's the same. I mean, it's getting to that. Even with face tracking, oh my god, the best thing ever. I love it. Absolutely love it.
You're making me jealous. I want a big screen beyond so bad so I can get face and eye tracking. I just have a basic index right now, so I have to use my fingers to control it all, which I'm pretty good at showing emotion with it. But I definitely need face and eye tracking because I do not have it. And oh man, do I want a big screen beyond so bad.
One day. Don't get a Quest Pro though, because it's very silly.
I prefer the field of view that the Index has compared to the Quest Pro, and the Quest Pro is really cool, but I like my field of view, like a big field of view.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. All right, so let me ask you the first question that I asked to all the guests on the Friday Fox Show. A nice question that makes your audience able to know more about you. I know that most likely the people will watch this on YouTube later and watch you and be like, oh my god, Astra got interviewed on the Friday Fox Show, I'll watch. So the first question that I'm gonna ask is, what is the lore? How did you join the fandom, Astra? What made you join the furry fandom?
All right, good question. So for me, I got introduced in the furry fandom in a very weird way. Growing up in high school, I was actually a brony back in the day, which I feel like there's a lot of people who used to be bronies or are bronies and moved to furry. So I guess that was my toe that I dipped in the furry water, but I grew out of it. I stopped watching right around when the movie came out, and I just thought it was kind of cringe, and let's move past it. Even though the show was nice, Fluttershy is my best pony, by the way. I will fight you on that one. But either way, I liked the show a lot, and so I obviously was a member of the internet. I knew what furries were. I watched the Internet Historian video about them. I had a basic understanding, but I never thought it was my thing. I just thought, you guys exist over there, I'll be over here. Y'all are weird. I'm fine. One of my best friends is Swedish. His name is Jay. And what happened was, we've been talking forever. We met through a Minecraft server way back in the day, and we talked quite a lot. And I knew he was a furry, but again, his thing, not my thing. You do you, I'll do me. He was coming to Florida for the first time, which is where I live, to go to Megaplex. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. You're going to a furry con. Yeah, you're going to a furry con. I don't really care. But if it's your first time in Florida, I'm going to pay and drag you to go to Universal Studios, which is a theme park that we have here in Florida.
Yeah.
And so Saturday of Megaplex, technically, I dragged him to Universal. And we had a really nice time. We went on the Harry Potter rides, went on the roller coasters, and it was awesome. And it was 4 or 5 o'clock, and the day was wrapping up, and he's like, okay, cool. You dragged me to Universal, I'm dragging you to Megaplex. I said, I know that you're not. No. And he said, oh, yes, I am. So he dragged me pretty much by my neck to Megaplex. And I had a feeling he was going to do this, so I packed my Halloween costume from last year, which was Guy Fieri. So I wore the blonde wig, the flame shirt, you know. I didn't want anyone knowing that I was going to be there in case I ran into anybody. So I threw on my costume, I showed up there, and at first, I was uncomfortable. Let me put it that way. I was on the edge of the rave.
Cringed.
I was just on my phone. Didn't really want to be there. Didn't really understand it. I'm like, it's kind of cool, but eh. And then I don't know what happened, but I'm sitting there again on my phone, disassociating in the rave, and I see this orange calico cat just shake her ass on the dance floor, like going harder than I've ever seen another full suitor go before. And I'm like, okay,
All right.
kind of cool. We left the rave. And we go to a panel. It was, I think it was like a Whose Line Is It Anyway? Like kind of like a game show. And I'm sitting there and I'm just kind of also paying attention like, okay, this is also kind of cool. And then later that night, we went to my other friend's room where we just sat all night long talking about the fandom. And I fell in love with it that night. I learned about what furries are, what it takes to be one, what the fandom, what exists, you know, the values, how everyone is just so weird, but let's be weird together, all about conventions. And I fell in love with it that night. A couple days later, Jay flew back to Sweden. I was back home and having a bit of an identity crisis. You know, what just happened? Am I a furry? Is this okay? Do I need to tell anybody? Whatever. And in that week, Jay video chatted with me often. And actually, on my birthday, literally, it was like a week after Megaplex, it was my birthday, we created Astra's first ref sheet. So technically, me and Astra share a birthday. And I ran with it since. I ordered my suit a couple months later after MFF, had my suit by FWA, and now I'm here.
Damn, that went from 0 to 100 in like so little time. That's crazy.
Yeah, it's been my story. Yeah, that's how I joined fandom. It's a weird one. That's me.
I mean, to be fair, it's always amazing to get to know how people join the fandom, and I mean, this is definitely unique. The path on like hating, and at the same time, at some point, you're like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I mean, I'm not sure if that was really hating, but more like cringing, and then you're like, oh, that's kind of cool. And this is like a pretty common path. For a lot of people in the
like when I first walked into Megaplex, the very first thing I saw when I saw like a couple first watch. Okay, so that's the safer word version of the story. It gets slightly spicy. I'm not sure how spicy this show is allowed to
You
get.
can. I mean, you can. If it's not, you know, for Twitch details. I mean, you can tell what happened,
I will
but
try
the
to keep
details.
PG-13.
Yes.
We walk into Megaplex,
or 16.
and I am confronted with usual con shenanigans and people being cringy and whatever. And the first, again, this is before I saw the cat shaking their ass at the rave. The first thing I said, I shit you not, the first thing I said was, man, you guys didn't get bullied enough in high school. I really said that. I know, I'm sorry. But I was out of my elements, and I'm just like, this is weird.
Yeah, the defense mechanism.
Before we went to the rave, we went to a room party to drop off cigarettes for my buddy's friend.
Okay.
And we walk into the room, and I walked into what I now know is normal at cons, like a cuddle party. You know, everyone's just like, lying on top of each other, lo-fi music, tapestries, whatever. Again, I've never experienced anything like this. So I'm chilling there, I'm talking, making light conversation. We've been there for like 5 minutes, whatever. And out of the bathroom walks a dude, butt naked, not wearing a single bit of clothes. Walks out, and then there was a couch in the room that was completely filled with people. He shoves everyone aside and just takes a seat and just crosses his leg and stares at me. And I'm like,
all right.
Are you guys seeing this? So, and then the rest of the night happened with the rave. So, like, if I didn't run when I first saw that, I haven't ran since.
I mean, yeah, that was
the
like
actual true version of
that was the test. You know what? This guy knew that was your test. He was like, okay, I'm gonna test Astra today. I'm gonna just
I really
run
gotta find
out
out who
naked.
that was and be like, I saw your ass before I was even a furry, and look at what you did to me.
So when was that, dude? Did you say the date, like the year of this convention? When was that you became like
This was Megaplex of 2022, and this was Saturday night at Megaplex of 2022.
And you remember the day and everything. That's crazy.
Oh yeah, because and here's the reason why, the little kickers. So if you've never been to Universal Studios, they have a bunch of like really nice hotels on property. They have really nice hotels, and out of all those hotels, one of them is so expensive but so nice. It's like Hawaii kind of tropical themed, and it's like $400 or $500. Actually, I think it was like $600 a night. And I shared the hotel cost with another friend, a different friend, not the one I went to the studios with, another one. And because I wasn't gonna stay the night at Megaplex, I ended up pulling an all-nighter in another friend's room. I literally was in that room for 5 seconds, and I paid for half of it. I still have never stayed the night at that damn hotel. I really want to.
So you need to go back.
But I was too busy learning about what a furry was and having an identity crisis. So, I guess I never got to experience that one.
Yeah. I mean, that's such a very nice way to get to know the fandom. I mean, of course, you already knew what was a fandom because you said you were a brony just before. How long have you been a brony before? Like, was it only like 2-3 years, or since? I mean, you cannot remember how long it was.
It was in high school. I want to say I started in freshman year, and then I probably I'd say about maybe 3 years or so. It was while the show was still ongoing, and like I said, I saw the movie, and then around when the movie came out is when I stopped. So I was there from like
the 3D movie or
season 2,
the one on Netflix.
The first one.
Oh yeah, no.
First one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I saw it in theaters, and there are some cringy pictures on my camera roll from when I saw my friend group in high school. Oh my god!
Oh my god! So it was like, because we're gonna talk about your Sona a little bit, but just before, I'm curious. I'm sorry, Astra, but was your pony Sona the same design as your first Sona, or not at all? Absolutely
I didn't
nothing.
actually have a pony Sona.
You
I
did
never did.
Right.
I mean, I like followed like some of the art. I followed some of like the music, but like I never really like made an OC because I just thought it was didn't really vibe with it. I didn't really know what a first Sona was. I didn't really know what a pony Sona was. I don't know. I like Fluttershy. I like Twilight. I like the music. I like the messages. I never really myself.
So you
in the
did
show
no like brony convention, nothing, just.
Really, God, no, I was too young. My parents would have killed me.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. But I mean, that's good. You enter the fandom. I have no idea how it is in the brony fandom, but it's just like fandom, just like the furry fandom. So you already had like kind of a vision of what it meant, and I mean that's such a wild story to join the fandom, and you go to like maybe one of the biggest conventions there is in the world. Like that's wild.
What happened was after Megaplex, like that night, I was in that room with those two girls, and then my friend and another friend, and like when we were talking about the fandom all night long, after I kind of fell in love with it that morning, it was like Sunday morning. Again, I got no sleep. Again, I was destroyed for a week. I need my sleep. And what happened was we were talking, like, you know what? Biggest convention in the world, MFF, back when it was the biggest convention in the world. It was in like, 2 months, 3 months. We're going to go to MFF together, all of us. And so we all went to MFF, and then I wanted to wait until after MFF to order my first suit to make sure I actually like the fandom. It's not like a fad. I waited right until the end of MFF, and that's when I ordered my fursuit.
Yeah. So let's talk a bit about your persona, because that comes before, of course, the fursuit, which we're going to talk about later. So you said you were like on Discord and you designed the first night. What was like what made it become what we know? Did you know already you were going to be a kitty cat, or was it something else in your mind, or did it change maybe, perhaps?
So I've always loved cats. I've always had a huge fondness for cats. I always wanted a cat. And fun fact, I actually just got a cat who's literally right here. Hello, Cheeto. Oh, baby's right here.
Cheeto.
So
cute.
I've always wanted a cat. I literally got him 2 months ago. It was actually my first cat. So I've always I've always loved cats just for how much they can be like an asshole, but like super adorable at the same time, and just very, aloof and feisty, but like really adorable and kind of cute, So I've always loved cats and always bought cats. So I knew when I thought, in my opinion, the way you figure out what your first owner should be is you ask yourself, if you could be any animal, what animal would you be? For me, I would love to be just a kitty cat, like, just chill in a house, have all my needs taken care of, and just exist.
Living the life. Living the life,
exactly. So I always loved cats. And so what happened was I always loved a little bit on the bigger side of cats too. So I love cats and I love snow leopards because they're also very derpy. They have the big fluffy... Oh, not that was grabbing the wrong one. The big fluffy tail. Ow. The big fluffy tails,
It's massive.
Yeah, right. So they always have the big fluffy tails, and so also the rosettes, because I always love a little bit of like contrast, a little bit of the spots. So I gave myself half snow leopard and half domestic house cat. And then in terms of the coloring, pink, purple, and blue are just my favorite colors. I've always loved how well they vibe together, the retro look of it, and also I'm a huge lover of just space and the cosmos, so kind of made it look a little bit like galaxy, add some stars here and there, and just put some colors that felt right, and there's Astra. That night on my birthday, we used like a free Fursona generator where you just gives you like just a blank template. It looked almost like Boy Kiss. I can actually send you the picture after if you want to pop it on screen for chat. But essentially, it's just we filled out the base with colors that felt kind of right, and then my first ref sheet was done. Gave it to an artist, said make this look better. They made it look better, and then yeah, there's Astra. Hello. Yeah,
that's so cute. And was the name always Astra, or did it come because like your Fursona is very much like looking like space a little bit, you know? You have like space on your legs and your arms.
I've always wanted a space-themed name just because I felt it kind of worked well with it when the colors. And you'll see actually at the top of the first ref sheet when I send it to you, I didn't have the name picked out yet. It was one of three. It was either going to be Nova, Orion, or Astra, any of the three spacey names. And I thought, well, Orion, a lot of people in the fandom are named Orion. Nova
as well.
Maybe.
Same. I know like 5 of them.
I didn't know another Astra, and I searched, and I couldn't even find another person with a fursuit named Astra. And I like Astro is like more masculine. Astro's kind of feminine. I am a male, but I kind of like the little like androgynous of it because I look maybe a little female, a little spicy, but I am male. But I like the name of it and how it fits. You know, the Latin to the stars, so to the stars, and that's how Astro was created.
That's so nice. That's such a lovely story to create your first night. So then, of course, you had this first ref sheet that I'm going to try to put on screen. I don't know if I will be able to do it, but I will try to do it. Then you commissioned your first artist. May I ask, because you said that you already knew that you were going to commission a first shoot, but you were like, oh, maybe I just wait a little bit to know if the fandom is okay for me. Did you try a first shoot before that? Or you were like, okay, I know I'm going to love it.
No. Yes and no. So, well, first off, I want, like I said, obviously these things are very expensive fursuits, and I wanted to make sure that I was actually not, you know, in a phase or like it was just like a quick little thing and then I'm done with it before I spend, you know, however many thousands of dollars I spent on my fursuit. So I wanted to definitely wait until after MFF, but I was like looking for makers, I was getting reviews, and then a couple, I think like maybe 2 months before I ordered my actual fursuit, I went to an anime convention with one of the girls that I spent that night back in Megaplex, and she let me wear, she had a realistic snow leopard head, and I put it on, and I looked at it, gave it one look, and I said, wow, this is horrible.
Oh, really?
I don't know if you've ever worn a realistic fursuit head before, but you cannot see shit. You cannot see anything out of those little tears.
I have a lacy fursuit.
Glass eyes, you know? You can't see.
It's super
anything.
Bad already.
Like,
it's horrible.
I know. But either way, though, I still like was hoping that when you get a Toonie fursuit with the mesh eyes, you could see a lot more. And I was right, because my fursuit, I can actually see fantastic out of it. I can read, I can see far. It has great vision. So I'm very happy that I can see in it, you know, unless I have my sexy eyelids on, then it gets a little hard to see. But other than that, I can see mostly pretty good out of it.
All right. And you knew already what kind of maker you wanted, or was this maker like just open at the time you were gonna commission your first shoot? You were like, okay, let me just commission that person, or you really wanted
a little bit of
the style? All right.
Yeah, a little bit of both. So I know obviously because of the way my coloring is and how, you know, unique and hard it is to make into a fursuit.
Every maker were gonna
do airbrushing.
Yeah, they were gonna hate you. All of them, they were gonna hate you for that.
Oh no, for sure. So I did one that could do airbrushing, which turned out to be a big mistake, by the way. You should never get an airbrush fursuit. Don't make the same mistake I did. It needed airbrushing, and then also I wanted to have electronics in it. So I wanted my whiskers are actually fiber optic, and they're little twinkling lights in my hair too in my fursuit, and I have a built-in fan, all three of them. So when you look at all the list of fursuit makers, especially when we're talking back in 2022, 2023, there weren't many makers that could do both of those. Some can do fur airbrushing, some can do, you know, electronics, but few can do both.
Yeah.
So the one maker that I really liked a lot was the one I ended up going with was De Leon. She's the one who made Nightsea, she made Fao, she made Orion, a good suit brother of mine, but he got a suit way after mine. But I love the way their suits looked, and so I DM'd them, and Fao the cheetah wrote back to me and said, yes, here's the process, I love my suit, here's how it's held up over time, here's how it all went. And it really sold the fact. I'm like, okay, I want a slot. And so it was like, I think she had commissions open in like 2 months or so when I've already settled on her. But just to, put my name out there, I bought a couple things from her shop. I bought, a t-shirt and a collar. Like,
just to make sure,
I like your
yeah.
stuff a lot. Pro tip, if you want to slot with a maker, buy stuff from their shop beforehand.
Yeah.
Because that will tell them you're serious, you're a nice person, and like they'll remember your name.
Yeah.
So I did that. I opened my comms, I applied. And actually, I was in Israel at the time when I applied. I applied for my first when I was on a trip in Israel. And she gave me a slot, and she said, I'll move you to the front of the queue because I wanted it by FWA. And then literally within like a month and a half, 2 months, he was at my doorstep. And I've only had the one fursuit since.
That's crazy.
To go back a few times to get the electronics fixed, get the airbrushing retouched up. Like every year, I have to send them back to get the airbrush repainted. It's impossible to clean, but she did a fantastic job, and I'm very happy with it.
So that's like such a good story because I think everything went smoothly. Of course, you choose everything you wanted, and that's actually a very good thing that you said to get involved with the maker before you commission. That's really good. If they have a Patreon as well, if there's people watching that want to commission a fursuit, if they are a Patreon, go do something on the Patreon. They will be extremely happy about that.
Comment on their tweets with like works and their whips. Oh wow, that looks fantastic. I love your work. It's beautiful. Oh man, I'd love to have a fursuit by you one day. Let them remember your name, because no matter how big the fursuit maker is, they check the comments, they check the DMs. Let them know how much you appreciate their stuff, and that's how you get an in with a big maker. No maker is too big. You can get a slot. It's not impossible as long as you have the money for it. But the best way to get a slot is to let them know that A, you're serious, and 2, that you're not just some random who's going to get a quote and then ignore them forever. You're actually serious about getting a fursuit made.
Absolutely. And so you talked about electronics. What kind of electronics do you have in your fursuit, Astra?
Yeah, so my whiskers are fiber optic. They have no LEDs in them, and they actually light up at night. I do have some stars in my hair as well that are also hooked up to the same fiber optics, but they're little points of light in my hair. Those are harder to see. If you see me at like the rave when it's dark out, you can definitely see them better. Right. And then I have a built-in fan in my mouth. Fun fact behind the scenes, not many people know about. When I first got my fursuit, the fan was powered with little USB rechargeable battery bank. And the whiskers and the lights were powered with 3 AA batteries. So in my neck lining, I had like 5-6 pounds of just batteries in there. Thankfully, a good friend of mine, Orion, and one day I begged him. He finally busted out the soldering iron, and he hooked them all together so everything runs off just a little battery bank. So it's way more comfortable to wear him. But when I first got him, oh man, that head was heavy.
Yeah, because of, and also you have to recharge. It's just like your phone. Your first is like, oh no, I cannot first. I only have 5% battery. I need to wait. I gotta charge my first. Wait. What about
bring a few battery banks to cons?
Yeah, that's the thing. Once you have some stuff like that, you definitely have to bring more batteries. Do you have any electronics like in your body? I've never. I mean, during all the videos that you do, we can see your fursuit, but usually there is light. So I've never actually seen it
in the bodysuit, but like I have a handler with me who has like one of those little jet fans. He has a straw. He has Gatorade. So like the interviews would not be possible without all the amazing, talented handlers that you see behind the camera, because they really keep me alive and keep me alive, not only by heat, but also at cons it can get a bit overwhelming. I can get swarmed at times. He knows what, like, okay, you're gonna be cameraman, okay, we're gonna get out of here and gonna go to the lounge or go back to the room, like everyone leave us alone, so I have a very good amount of handlers that take care of me.
That's great. It's great to be safe when you fursuit. So let's go back a little bit to what you said. So you said, I'm going to wait a little bit before going commission the fursuit to check if the fandom is okay. Did you end up, like, what was the first convention that you did with your fursuit? And also, how did it go? Well, was it what you expected, or was it, like, awful?
So the first con I went to with my fursuit was FWA of 2024. That was a great time. I learned what it's like to have heat exhaustion, borderline heat stroke. It was hot.
God.
It was so freaking hot because that was before I had a cooling vest or really knew how to like stay cool in fursuit. Because you learn along the way the more you do it, then you know your limits. I did not know my limits back then. So also I was way out of shape compared to how I am right now. So regardless, also fun fact: when I got my duct tape dummy made, I got it made with my friends. And then right after I shipped it off, I lost like 50 pounds.
Oh, no.
And so now, when I wear my cooling vest, my suit fits perfectly.
Oh,
so
that's smart.
Right there.
That's so
get
smart.
Get your duct tape dummy made when you're fat, and then get skinny, and then it'll fit you perfectly. But anyway, so FWA 2024 was a great con. I debuted my fursuit for the first time. I didn't even really film any content. I have a couple pictures here and there, but I barely knew what I was going to do when it comes to actually putting myself out there on the internet. I was just being a derpy cat, having a great time at a con, and it all went really pretty well. That con, though, has a funny story attached to it. This was one of my most memorable moments from any con ever.
Oh, really?
At that convention.
The first convention you do in your fursuit. That's crazy.
Yes. So I was walking back from the rave. I've told the story a few times on my pages, but in case you haven't heard it before, I was walking back to my room from the rave. This was Saturday night. I was by myself. All my roommates were asleep. I was partying with some friends out there. I was tired. I was a little drunk, and I wanted to just get back to my room and pass out. Saturday night at a con. You know the story.
Yeah.
So I'm carrying my fursuit head in my hands. I'm wearing like a skimpy outfit. One thigh high is on the ground. The hand paws are out of your pocket. You look like crap. You want to go to sleep. You don't care.
Sleep.
I'm walking back to my room. Again, it's like 2, 3 in the morning at this point. And I see the room right next to ours. There is a bunch of people spilling out into the hallway. Like you could tell there's like some sort of party or something going on next to us. And I'm thinking, shit, I'm not getting any sleep tonight. There's going to be loud music. There's going to be people outside. This is going to be horrible. I'm walking past the people to get to my room and found my room key. And I smelled something in the air. Normally at fur cons, you smell stuff bad, but this is a good smell. This smelled like amazing. And I smell it, and I'm like, what is that? I look over at the room, and some guy in the room looks at me and goes, hey, you want some stew? And I'm like, what? And they're like, yeah, man, we got some stew for you. And I'm standing there dumbfounded, my room key in my hand. This guy walks out with this giant bowl of whatever type, I can't remember what it was, this giant bowl of soup with a freshly baked bread bowl in it. And I peer my head, and they have like 6 or 7 crock pots and Instant Pots lining the freaking windowsill in their room. And I'm like, what the hell is this? I grab it from him. I say, thanks. I go to my room. I close the door. All my roommates are sleeping. I'm sitting on the edge of my bed with a bowl of soup in my hand, and I take one sip. And I tell you right now, Xavier, this was the best damn thing I've ever eaten in my entire life. Oh my God, was that stew? Oh, it was so good. And so the next morning, I walk out of there, and I see the guy again. I'm like, yo, dude, that was amazing. He's like, yeah, man.
What's the recipe?
Host these little underground stew parties every con. Here's my Telegram if you ever want an invite. I'm like, yes. I lost his freaking Telegram. I'm so devastated. So if anybody out there knows where to host the stew party, please, I need to go back. It was the best thing of my whole freaking life.
Damn. So they cooked it in the room, actually, or did they order it?
In the room.
Oh, that's crazy. Oh my God, that's crazy.
I don't even know what type of stew it was. It was like, must have been like broccoli cheddar or like baked potato. I don't freaking know. It was just, it was so good, Xavier. It was so good.
The most memorable moment of that convention, for sure.
That's top 5 most memorable moments.
That's good that the most memorable moment is something very good, you know? Like, that's very nice. That's actually very lovely. All right, so you were not in full suit. You were like in partial, but just absolutely destroyed, wanted to go to bed, and you just stumbled across. That's crazy because in the US,
found the stew party.
Yeah, because like in the US, the hotels are like massive, right? They have like 40 stories, something like that. So you need to be extremely lucky to be rooming next to the underground shadow government stew party. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy.
Exactly.
So at that convention, you said already that you were not, but you took some pictures and that's about it. So we will talk about it, of course, because that's a big part of you now. All the content creation, you making those really incredible videos on Twitter or X every time you are going to conventions. It didn't start at that convention then. What exactly made you start making those kind of content to also publish it on your page?
Of course. Yeah. So, growing up, I did have a bit of a history with YouTube. I made, tech videos way back in the day.
Right.
I did, Call of Duty montages, Grand Theft Auto 5. I was a kid with the internet. Everybody had a gaming channel back in the day.
Yep.
Some of my videos are still up, by the way. Pro tip, any of you guys find this, but you guys hopefully won't. Somebody out there is going to find them eventually. But either way, they were terrible. So I had experience with just, being behind the camera and video editing. So I knew what I was doing. And at that first convention, I didn't really know what I wanted to do in terms of content. I know I wanted to make content. I wanted to, just put my photos, my videos out there, but I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was doing like silly little meme videos and collabs with people, but nothing got great traction. I think I just like tiny couple people saw, oh, I love your fursuit. Here's a photo, Fursuit Friday. Here's some art, but it never got that much traction. And then what happened was, for fast, so we were at Megaplex. We're FWA now, which is in May. Fast forward to Anthrocon that same year. So now we're about 3-4 months ahead. This is my second convention with my fursuit and my fourth convention overall, if you count Megaplex that one night. And what happened was, as I'm, browsing Instagram, the Furry Twitter, I know that some people out there like making little interviews where they ask you some simple questions, and it's just like, it's like street interviews, but it's at a furry convention, so it's kind of some cool appeal to it. But the people who were doing it at the time, they were kind of dragging it out. It wasn't that interesting. People didn't have the snappy little answers, but they held my attention. And so I thought, you know what? Let me give this a shot. Let's see if this sticks. I'm throw whatever at the wall and see what sticks. So my first video that I interviewed was with this moth by the name of Queblock. Really beautiful suit.
Yeah,
just a random guy with a moth. And I asked him, hey, and I from the intro, literally off the cusp as soon as the camera started. Hey everybody, it's Astra here with Queblock. What species are you? I'm a moth. And I asked him, are you stinky? And he says, I don't have a nose. I can't really tell. And I said, you heard it here first. Moths are stinky. Ran out of frame. I posted that video right at the end of the day, and within 24 hours, that video got 300,000 views on TikTok. And right from there, I'm the interview guy. So I've expanded my horizons. I have a much better microphone than that little $30 one off Amazon that I bought for the con. And I haven't looked back since. I've never at all expected to get where I am today with the amount of followers and the amount of fans I have. It's humbling, but a bit scary at times because, when I first joined the fandom, you see all the big names out there of people that, look like, I'm not going to say untouchable because that just sounds kind of cringy, but people out there that are like, wow, your content's so great. I wish I could, get to the point you are or, get to meet you or even put out stuff similar to what you're putting out. And I look at them now and I'm like, damn, I passed you. Like, it's crazy. Like, don't get me wrong, they're all beautiful people and numbers mean absolutely nothing. But the fact that I can look at them and be like, I joined the fandom because I looked at these people, posting. Yeah. Now people come up to me and say, I joined the fandom because of you, Astra. And I'm like,
that happens.
Like, or people say, oh, I came to Megaplex all the way from Poland or Germany just to meet you. And I'm like, why? Like, I'm not special. I'm just a cat that posts cringy interviews on the internet. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I like my content, sure, but like, I don't feel nearly at all deserving or even like, it humbles me, you know what I mean? It's a very weird
this is like the imposter syndrome of like whenever you're creating content, you're like, oh yeah, I'm doing it because I like it, and whatever you're getting back from it, which is, I don't know, like the people liking, commenting, enjoying what you're making, then this is all bonus. And sometimes it doesn't feel deserved because you're like, oh yeah, I filmed that video in like 20 minutes. Why is this happening to me? But I mean, I saw this video with the moth and I really thought that was like not your first. To be fair, whether my friend was like,
with the moth. I did a part 2 with him, so I'm not sure if you saw the first or the second one.
No, I saw the first one.
I did a part 2 with him.
I think I saw the first one.
Okay. That was the first interview I ever filmed. Fun fact.
I mean, you said it, 300,000 views in the fandom. That's pretty much everyone that is online, I would say. That everyone that is able to see it is gonna see it. So that's really cool.
Yeah, so I ran with it, and on a given convention, I film about 50 to 60 interviews. I would say about half don't see the light of day just because some people are bad at improv, or the audio came out wrong, or just I asked you a bad question. So I do feel bad. People are like, oh, why don't you ever post my interview? I'm like, I'm sorry. But if I ever filmed one with you and I didn't post it, you absolutely get a second one. Just find me another convention. I'd love to give you a second try because everyone deserves a second chance. But
then they need to find a better answer.
Yeah.
Get your answers ready.
Sometimes
whatever.
It's me. Sometimes it's me though.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because you come with a question like on the fly. You don't have it before starting the record button, right? You just like.
Oh, correct. Yeah, you don't know the question until camera rolls. Just like how I don't know what you're gonna ask me. Most people are not good at improv. I think I'm okay at it. But most people are just, they freeze up when the camera starts, or they have to like, let me think about that. So, you know, the right type of person has to be quick, they have to be witty with it, and they have to be, you know, show some energy. Don't just stand there like a FNAF animatronic.
But I have a question, like, before filming, you're asking the people, you're like, hey, do you want to film a video? You're not like, oh, hey, hello, Astra, here, I'm gonna ask you.
Not. No. Before the camera even gets pulled out, it's not even like recording or even a film point of view. I say, hey, do you want to be interviewed for TikTok and Instagram? And most say yes, some say no, which again, I'm never going to say, oh, well,
some people are shy.
I'll let you off and be your own. I will say though, since becoming quote unquote popular or known, it has been a change of pace because I don't have to ask people anymore, hey, do you want to be interviewed for TikTok? They come to me, Astra, can I be interviewed? I'm like, yes, because I don't have to ask people anymore. So definitely a change pace.
You should just do like a 1 hour compilation of like everyone at the convention, and I mean just like a full video, and so they're like, oh my god, I made this video, but maybe not published on your main socials, you know? Just like a compilation.
So funny you mentioned that. At the end of the year, I did it for 2024, and oh God willing, I'm gonna do it for 2025.
Soon,
I do post a little end of the year wrap up to like a little song. It's maybe like I have to be under a minute because of copyright, but I include like 5 frames of every interview I filmed that year. Even if I didn't post your interview, you will make the wrap up as long as I don't mess up with my downloading picture. I do save all my footage. So if I filmed and you weren't there in 2025, you will be at the end of the wrap up. So look for the little like 4 frames. Like, there I am. You'll find yourself. As long as I don't
post
get
it and you screenshot it.
My best though.
Yeah, I mean,
look, Gary, there I am.
I mean, that's really nice of you to do that. And of course, for some people, then it's pretty enjoyable when they know that you're at a convention with them. They can just be like, oh my god, I want to be interviewed. It's not often that people get to be interviewed, you know. Most people in the normal day at a convention, no one is going to tell them, oh my god, let me ask you a question about you or whatever. Or I've seen already that at furry convention, especially in the US, you sometimes have like YouTubers that are not furries at all. They come and ask questions, but this is not the questions you want to answer, right? This is the bad questions.
Funny story with that, actually. So Megaplex this year, they had issues with last year's convention to the point where they did not want anybody filming interviews because they had issues with people that were like Kick streamers or Twitch streamers that just came in to get a reaction to, oh, do you do lewd things in your fursuit? Oh, you know, what's the most NSFW thing you've seen at a con? And also, they don't ask consent. They just point the camera right in your face and they want an answer because they're making a crappy, you know, YouTube video. Because of that, and Megaplex did not have a media policy at the time to really be able to handle that, because, you know, Anthrocon, for example, they actually have where you apply for a press pass, and then once they vet your content, they'll let you film interviews. That's what I do for Anthrocon. Megaplex didn't have that set up, so in order for me to film my interviews, they asked me, hey, Astra, would you like to be staff on the PR department? That way you can help us out vetting people and film your interviews this convention.
Wow.
So I said yes, so now I'm staff for Megaplex to actually vet other people to let them film interviews.
Congratulations. So I'm
also staff on Anthrocon now.
But you're like vetting people to make any kind of content, right? Not only just interviewing people
just
in the
interviews.
Lobby.
No, they are
just interviews.
Everyone's allowed to film any content they want, but just interviews where it stems from.
So it's a problem. I mean, it became a problem because some random people were joining and just asking inappropriate questions to everyone. Oh, that's crazy. I didn't know about that. I thought you were just asking for like a media pass, even if you wanted to stream or. But especially for interview,
No, sometimes they do require for streaming, but typically you can film whatever content you want at con, just make a con video. But if you want to actually interact with fursuiters and put a microphone or a camera in their face, you need to be vetted. And I want to say AnthroCon last year, they had like 15,000 people. They only gave out about 20 media passes, and 3 of them went to me for me and 2 of my handlers. So that kills me. Like, yeah, like. My main thing is, especially why I joined AnthroCon and Megaplex staff to help vet people, is I'm not going to at all gatekeep, you don't have a following, you can't film interviews. Absolutely not. I'm sticking up for the little person by saying, if you want to film interviews, absolutely, but let me see your content first. Let's make sure you're actually serious about it. You know how to ask consent for people. Make sure you ask decent questions that aren't, super NSFW or not family friendly, because when it comes down to it, you're representing the con whether you like to or not.
Yeah.
So that's the main reason why I joined staff and said, yes, not only I can film my interviews, but also I want to make sure that people who don't have a following can actually start making the content they want to film and aren't just going down the wrong path, essentially.
That's really nice to get to know like the whole background of actually doing a setup for this kind of stuff at a convention, because I guess who better to ask for interviews than the person that is known for interviewing people at conventions, That's kind of cool. Can we get
I also tell people like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go on if you want to add something to the subject.
No, yeah, for sure. I also tell people, like, all the time I'll see, like, other people doing interviews at furry conventions, and you'll see some comments be like, oh, wow, this person's just copying Astra. Let me be very, very clear right now. I'm looking right at that camera right there. If they can
I'm copying Astra. I'm doing an interview as well.
Yeah, right there. Right there. I do not own interviews. I stole the idea from other people. Other people can steal it from me. Please do not feel that you have to gatekeep any type of content. If you like doing it, do it. That is what the key to getting known or views is. You have to find the middle ground between what you like and what the algorithm likes. You do not do. I do not own interviews. Please do not feel, oh, I can't do that because X, Y, Z is doing it. Yeah. I do not. Please don't feel like you can't do other type of content other people are doing it. You can, and you'll make it better. Bingo.
Believe in yourself. Yeah. That's the message. So I wanted to ask maybe if we could get like so the people that you interview, of course, they know what is the pipeline, what is the whole setup behind it. But can you maybe tell us a glimpse of like how do you get an interview filmed and edited from the beginning, finding someone that you want to interview, to putting a time and date to film? Because already in VR for me, when I ask people to get here on the show, it's already super hard. I cannot imagine at conventions. When you already have stuff to do, how do you get someone to meet at some point? And then, the whole process, basically, I think it would be amazing to know.
For sure. Yeah, I can break it down. So, before a convention, I will do some scheming and get some questions down on my phone that I think would be interesting that I want to film. So I have those already off the top of my head, and also I'll tell my handler them ahead of time because, my memory is absolutely horrible at times. I'll be at a convention, I'll throw my fursuit on, and I would say a solid 80 to 90% of the time, if I'm wearing my fursuit, I'm filming content. The time for me to just suit around and be a derpy cat, that is mainly at nighttime. During the day, I'm kind of in work mode. And I say work mode, but I'm really having fun with it. But it is essentially work for me. But
the grind.
I am in work mode. So I will find a handler. Typically, it'll be one of 2 or 3 people. But hopefully I have a handler with me. If I don't, I have to find the friend. Be like, cool, you're following me. I like the person in the camera booth right now. I'm an NFC.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I forgot your name.
It's UV.
SUV, thank you. But essentially, I will give him my phone, and all my interviews are recorded on my cell phone. So I use a Google Pixel 9 Pro. I'm a Google Pixel fan. I've had every single one since the 2. And currently right now I use a DJI Mic 2. So that little microphone that I hold, it actually has a mic receiver in it that connects directly to my phone. So it is a real mic. It's not a prop. And essentially, I will walk around a con space, and with them rolling, I will find somebody that either will come to me or I'll come up to them and be like, hey, Zavio, can I, you want to be interviewed for TikTok? And you say yes, you say no. I say, perfect, get over here out of the way of people. I try to find a place where there's like a good amount of movement behind us because that keeps things interesting, but a way that people won't walk in front of the camera. Because, oh God, I cannot tell you how many interviews have been ruined with people just walking in front of the camera, or just standing in front of it, and oh God, it's horrible.
You should do a compilation.
And then I will, it's
funny.
the interview. So I'll have the question in my head, and if I don't, I'll just ask you off the cuff. I'll be like, hey, do you have an interesting job or an interesting hobby or something makes you special? And you'd say, oh, I'm a Twitch streamer.
I eat rocks.
Okay. You eat rocks. Excellent. Hey, everybody, it's Aster here with...
Savoto. What's up?
Savoto, what species are you?
I look like a fox, so I guess I'm a fox, yeah.
You guess like a fox, perfect. And then I'll ask you a question. So, for example, you have a really interesting hobby where you like eating rocks. Can you talk to us how you got started on that? And then we just go off of that, where you give me some answers. And then if I don't like your quick answer, I'll try to space it out a little bit. Previously, when I first started out, I just asked people one quick question, and it was over in like 20 seconds. Now I try to ask you a couple, maybe like 3 to 4 questions.
The best, to get the best.
For the sole reason, number one, it keeps people more interested, and 2, if the video's over a minute long, I make money on TikTok. So I'm sorry, but I like to have a little bit of money.
Man.
I do. I'm sorry. You know,
but that's normal.
Expensive. Content is very expensive. Yeah. So I'll ask you that question, and then okay, thank you. Can I get a hug? I give you a hug, and then if I remember, I give you a sticker that I only give to people that I've interviewed that says, I got interviewed by Astra, and all I got was a sticker. It's a really funny artwork because it's me like, yeah, with a mic, and then you look all pissed off. You're like, like you're like, wait, which is angry? I don't know, angry faces. But either way, you're like, ugh. Anyway, so I give you a sticker, I give you a hug, and then you move on your merry way. At the end of the convention, when I get home, I will go through all my clips and I will put you into one of 2 folders, typically one which is interviews I can use and one that kind of I can't, whether it be you didn't give a great answer, the question didn't get the answer I wanted, the audio messed up, I'll go through it all. And then from there, I'll just pick and choose which one I want to edit and post. I typically post 2 interviews a week. I do Mondays and I do Thursdays. The rest of the days of the week are filled with art or just fursuit photos because I typically do a photo shoot every convention as well. I do a photo shoot every convention almost. And then I'm off on the weekends. Weekends are me time where I don't have to worry about posting or editing. I will sit down and then I don't like to admit this, but I will. Up until I hit about 35,000 followers on Instagram, I edited all the videos using CapCut on my phone. And that'll tell you right there, it's out of pure laziness. Because I know how to use Premiere. I've used Premiere plenty, but I got lazy. Because if I filmed on my phone, I post on my phone.
That's true.
On my phone too.
That's true.
Because CapCut's pretty cool. But it's at a certain point, I realized, you know what? Have this much of a following. Let's start actually getting serious and actually, make things look a little bit more polished. So now I sit down the night before, typically on my computer. I load up Premiere Pro and I just start editing. It takes me about 1 to 2 hours per interview to edit, sometimes shorter, sometimes more, depending on how much B-roll or special effects or how much content I need to throw in there to make it interesting. And then when I'm done, I save it, I export it. I still use CapCut for captions, but I edit it in Premiere. And then I throw it in my Google Drive and then post it at 9 a.m. next morning from work. And then from there, I just go through each of the content until the next convention, essentially. I film enough at one con to make it to the next one, and then I'm kind of chasing the dragon at that point because you always have to go from one to the next to the next to the next to the next. But again, I have fun with it, and if it ever became too much of a chore, I would stop. But I'm still having fun with it. And I don't mind editing. It's sometimes can be annoying if it's like 10:30 at night. I want to go to bed. I have work in the morning, but I'm like,
I have to edit this little bit.
I still do it. I have not missed an upload in almost 2 years, actually. Fun fact.
That's consistency. Yeah. Consistency is a key.
That's all it is. I tell people, how do I get big on TikTok and Instagram? You just have to be consistent. There is no way around it. You just have to post best qualities you can, and just as consistently as you can. You can't just take huge breaks and expect to come back to a huge audience. You have to be able to constantly come up with new things. Like I started doing the compilation interviews that people seem to really like, which I don't get me wrong, I love those videos, but they take so much time to edit because I'm asking, instead of asking 3 questions to one person, I'm asking 1 question to like 30 people, which means I have to keep finding new people, and some are interesting and some aren't, and some don't give a good answer, and you have to just, it's a lot more work for a 1 video compared to just 1 other person. But those get a lot of views, and so I try to do like maybe 5 or 6 of them per convention.
Wow, I mean that's everything is so well, planned in your head. That's so crazy. I mean, I know like the how you can be so consistent with the uploads. And now we know. If there were some people in the audience that were wondering how is this possible, I mean now you know. And I guess also the fact that you film a lot more than you will actually post at conventions is also a great way just to have some content to post in between the
that
conventions.
Definitely helps a lot. Like I said, to have enough content, and like I said, I mean, I don't reuse no, I don't. Every now and then I'll put like the compilation ones together, and I'll put like a mega compilation. That'll happen occasionally, but typically everything I post is brand new and hasn't seen the light of day before. I post, like I said, Mondays is an interview or some type of meme or video. Tuesdays is a first picture. Wednesdays is the art piece. Thursdays is another interview or reel, and then Friday is Fursuit Friday, which is another Fursuit picture. So that's typically my schedule. Some deviations here and there, but that's typically what I like to keep it to, just so I can, people have an idea of what, they're getting, depending on what day they come in. I post pretty much every day at 9 o'clock Eastern AM.
So I guess you also try to go to every conventions you can attend, just to be sure.
It's gotten to that point. Funny you mentioned that. I actually just figured it out, and my con plans for 2026. So
all of them.
Preface this.
All of them.
I told myself start of this year, next year, 2026, I want to cut back. I want to save my vacation. I want to save some money. I want to do less conventions. And this year I did. Oh God, hold on. NSC, FE, FWA, Anthrocon, Megaplex, MFFT. I did 7 this year. I looked up next year, and I'm doing 8, maybe 9.
Are you doing any overseas conventions next year, or only the US?
Not in Europe, but I am doing a BFF, Brazil Fur Fest. I'm guest of honor for that one. So I'm very excited to be doing that one next year. My first time in South America. That's going to be a fun one.
That's amazing. Congratulations on getting a guest of honor. I mean, definitely you deserve it with all the work you're putting on your interviews, and I guess perhaps at some point if you find other ideas, or maybe there is already some little ideas that you have, some other form of content, do you have any I don't know, little hints of what maybe you have in mind for the future, or is it still being cooked?
So I do have a couple ideas. Obviously, interviews are still my bread and butter, and I'm still planning on posting them as long as people watch them. But other side projects that I have going on is I have already actually filmed a few episodes of a podcast. Fun fact. Me and Flynn, aka Link's Drinks, we have filmed a few episodes at conventions where we're on a couch interviewing somebody else. We've already filmed a few episodes of that. We were already going to have it posted. It is ready to go, but the damn freaking YouTube partner program has denied me like 4 times, and I want to at least try to make some money on it before I post it. If I get rejected again in early next year, I'll just post it anyway. But we wanted to try to at least make a little bit of money for our time and the money we've invested in the podcast.
Of course.
So, yeah. So that's number one. Other than that, not really content-wise, but I do actually have a merch line that I've started up recently that's been doing very well, and I'm actually going to be vending at Midwest Fur Fest.
Congratulations!
Next month.
Oh my God, that's crazy!
So,
congratulations!
Yeah, it's the first con I've ever actually. I'm going to be vending at. I did vend at the Fizzy Fox Fair with the soda truck. So I did vend for 1 day there, and it went fantastic. I had a great time. Shout out to Khajiit. Awesome soda. But I vended there, had a great time, and people seem to really like the logo. So I run a store called Galaxy Clothing. The website is galaxy.clothing, and we sell subtle cosmic furry merch. So it's something that you can wear outside of a convention that really has a nice little story to it. So I have a bunch of t-shirts, I have some sweatshirts. I do have a docky of me for those who really want a docky of me. But
for the reals.
it's been a really great receptive, and just seeing people wear my content and talk about how much they love the story behind it. I have a bunch of new designs planned, and I'm not sure if I'm allowed to promote it, but if you guys, for this podcast, if you use code MEOW, you get $5 off your order with cheap international shipping. So Galaxy.clothing if you want to help me out.
And so, like, the design that you have on you right now, is it something that you're offering, or this is just on this avatar?
So this actual design is actually a one-to-one clone from a good friend named Aurora Bloom. She's made this. I don't sell this one, but actually I think her name is actually on the back of it. Maybe on my ass. I'm not 100%.
It's blurry.
Maybe not. It used to on the old one. Either way, it is. She sent me the files because she's a very good friend of mine, and I wear if you see me at a con like at nighttime where I'm just like going to the rave or just meeting with friends. If I'm not fursuiting, I wear this outfit constantly because I love just like the overall crop top and the sweatshirts, joggers. So I like this. So I asked her like, hey, can I please get the files to get into my avatar? And she said yes. So she gave them to me. So that's what I wear. But I do have other ideas, like one that's coming soon actually, and I've never actually showed anyone this before, so I might as well do it for you guys. It might be, I believe it's. Hold on, is it? Oh wait. Oh, when I did the refresh, I didn't add it. No. Okay. Can I change avatars? Is that cool?
Of course. Feel free to change the.
Sorry, won't give me.
Are we gonna see something special tonight on the Friday Folk Show?
You are. So this is actually my old Mayo. Before we did some changes to it, it should be normal. Still blue for me. Come on, Avatar. I believe in you.
It's server processing as well for me.
Yeah. Even I can't see my own avatar. I don't know what's going on with the archive right now. There we go. Okay.
So there you go.
This is the original black one, but if
black version.
Yes, it is. But no, it's either this one or the other one. Hold on. Okay, it is my other one. I'm sorry. Give me one more second.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
Yeah,
this one looks really cool on your avatar. I think that like the black and white.
It is this one. Yeah. Okay, so it is this hoodie right here.
NASA.
The other one underneath that. Yeah. So it's a like constellation-based hoodie. We're thinking about doing it with a gradient. It's got silver foil on it. It's a really cool idea. So we're working on it, and we might bring it to light too as well. So keep your eyes peeled. Again, Galaxy.clothing for something like this. These bottoms are still Aurora.
Yeah. So a lot of stuff that is a space inspired, I guess. So that's pretty cool.
Absolutely.
It's very nice for all the space fans out there. You know where to get your merch. All right, so we are approaching the time where I usually ask the questions from the audience, but since we're not live today, because of course I live in Germany, you live in the United States of America, so it's kind of like hard to schedule something doing it live. But I have one last question that I ask to everyone. It's about something very silly about the furry fandom. It's, do you know at conventions the 6-2-1 rule? Do you know what it means?
Of course I do. So that would be at a convention. You should get a minimum of 6 people in your bedroom. You should have at least $2,000 you spend at dealer's den.
Yeah. And one suspicious stew.
One story where you almost black out due to alcohol. That is the 6-2-1 rule right there.
Thank you so much, Astra. Everyone that is new to the fandom, feel free to do this at every convention. No, but I mean, this is so simple of a rule, but I guess it's good to, every time that I do a Friday Folk Show, to just make people remember that they need to sleep, to eat, and to take showers, especially showers.
Correct.
For most people,
yes,
showering.
I've smelled some very bad smells at conventions. Please, take a damn shower. Deodorant is not optional.
But deodorant is also not cleaning yourself, so you should still take
No, it's not, but it's also not optional.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely right.